Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rockland County Executive Honorable Ed Day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nice turnout. You here for something? I want to thank my fellow elected officials, community and business leaders, and citizens who have joined us here tonight. I want to thank also to those who are watching from home, and I want to acknowledge the news outlets who are bringing that to the folks at home this evening. I am honored to be here this evening to present the 2016 State of the County message. Tonight, I'd like to speak with you not only about where we've come in the past 2 years, but what lies ahead and beyond. In order to provide insight into the future, however, we must first reflect on our past, as well as the present state of affairs. When I came into office, I promised to focus my administration on 3 core priorities: stabilizing Rockland's finances, righting our fiscal ship, creating a bright, vibrant job market, making Rockland work again, and preserving our county for future generations. These are the pillars upon which we built our campaign and the program for governing this county today. The month I came into office in January 2014, Rockland County had only $42,000 in the bank. We were on the brink of default. We were a lethargic and disorganized organization plagued by out-of-control spending. We were facing a $138 million deficit that had ballooned from a surplus in just a mere 7 years. We had plunged from AA bond rating to near junk status. We had lost credibility with the rating agencies, New York State, and most importantly and most worrisome, our own residents. It was not good. But within hours of my inauguration, we rolled up our sleeves and got to work making those tough decisions necessary. Many of those decisions were based on rising cost structure, unfunded mandates from the state, and obvious revenue challenges. Look, in my life, I've always attacked problems head-on, and this challenge was absolutely not different. As I said on many occasions, it's my job to make tough choices that impact the 320,000 residents we serve, and I welcome that responsibility. During those first few months, we made consolidated key functions. We cut expenses, we reduced borrowing costs. In short, we restored fiscal responsibility. It's important to note that fiscal responsibility includes many, many things, but it truly means ensuring that the services the public needs and demands are provided in the most cost-efficient way. And today, we are doing just that. Through prudent budgeting, investing in our community's well-being, and focusing on improving our county's infrastructure, we have laid the groundwork for a healthier, stronger Rockland County. We've built a platform of responsible growth that will lessen the demands on taxpayers. Through operational reforms, we've reduced our biweekly payroll by several million dollars a year. We recorded a healthy budget surplus in 2014, and we're expecting the same in 2015. We've cut our inherited deficit by nearly 30% in the first 2 years. We have slide number 1. We'll show you that if you take a look up. This is how far we've been able to come with executive action and decision-making. For too many years, we were living on with a credit card mentality, but today my administration has successfully put our county on a payment plan to whittle down the sins of the past and having done so without the predicted added double-digit tax increase that would have came with paying that bill. We're doing it a little at a time, just like most of us who pay off a mortgage. In this time of financial recovery, prudence in paying down debt is the best policy. I promise you, we will stay this course. Today, your county government is smaller. Today, your county government is smarter. And today, your county government is healthier. What I found most gratifying is the fact that we have successfully tackled the kinds of challenges that have driven other governments into bankruptcy. The major rating agencies have noticed our strong forward momentum, have given us 3 upgrades, a positive outlook, and a credit positive report. And in September, State Controller Tom DiNapoli announced that Rockland County is no longer the most fiscally stressed county in local government in the state. In fact, in only 1 year, we jumped past 5 other counties to move within only 1 point of being removed altogether from the significant fiscal stress category. That, ladies and gentlemen, was an amazing achievement for Rockland County. And for the second consecutive year, I'm proud to say, this government is operating in the black. In fact, my proposed 2016 budget was reduced was reduced by $43 million over 2015, the largest year-over-year budgetary reduction in the history of Rockland County. This dramatic turnaround is a direct result of my administration's continued commitment to fiscal responsibility, accountability, and economic improvement. We have placed Rockland on the road back to fiscal solvency and, most importantly, prosperity. Because of our ability to make difficult choices and implement timeless solutions in the past 2 years, Rockland County has emerged as a reform leader within the state of New York, and we can all take pride in that. We have overcome complicated problems with innovative solutions, and our taxpayers have benefited. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, while we still face serious and significant challenges, know this: the state of our county for Rockland is strong and getting stronger because it is built on a foundation of progress and good government. It is the kind of progress that's made possible with cooperation forged through difficult decisions. And I want to thank the members of my administration who have worked so hard to make all of this happen. I also want to acknowledge the increasing cooperation from our legislature, and I want to thank our employees, most importantly, for fueling the engine that got this all done. Each and every person involved should be proud of these efforts. For years now, we have heard that government is the problem, and many will not argue with that. But we have shown during the past 2 years that government is not automatically the problem. It can be part of the solution. As we've seen, government, when run responsibly, can lay the foundation for a better future for all. Case in point, Summit Park Nursing Home and Hospital. The closure of the hospital and nursing home was completed in December, less than 90 days after an intransigent buyer backed out of the deal without warning. The decision to shutter the facility was difficult for the patients and our residents, and tragic for our employees, but necessary nonetheless. This was, without question, the toughest decision I had to make as your county executive. According to audited figures, the hospital fund had gone from break-even to a cumulative loss of over $150 million in 10 short years. The facility was bleeding red ink, drowning in debt, and it was taking us down with it. Regrettably, and without a buyer, we had no choice but to cease its operations. The wisdom of our action was confirmed by the New York State Department of Health, which approved the closure plan just 2 weeks after I submitted the formal request to do so. Our former patients, of which there was tremendous concern across the board, ended up in their first or second choice of a nursing home, and nearly 2/3 of them stayed in Rockland County. And because of that, a significant number of our employees found gainful employment locally and in their field. Some costs will continue for years to come, but they are predictable and declining each year. Closure firmly accomplished its immediate objectives and will contribute to the sustained financial viability of Rockland County. But from this unfortunate chapter, we have been given a golden opportunity. The closure released 365,000 square feet of contemporary space in Building A. And with this space, we can do something great by undertaking a significant project of lasting value, one that builds for the future, defines a meaningful common agenda for often unaligned parties, and above all, supplies a positive, sustainable source of momentum for taking public infrastructure and confidence to the next level. Our vision involves a mixed-use complex that houses county departments like personnel, health, social services, along with independent nonprofit health and human service agencies currently scattered across Rockland County. For our residents, this blueprint would provide a one-stop location for essential county health programs and human services, easily accessible via public transportation. For the county, the repurposing of Building A will enhance our health services sector, employment, and add needed sources of revenue. For all stakeholders, our vision provides an opportunity to transform Summit Park into a modern, professional human services hub in real time. My administration is committed to improving the health and wellness of the people of Rockland through delivery of a continuum of critical services. Picture it: physical health, behavioral health, human service partners under one roof. As demonstrated earlier, we seek the legislature's input and urge you all to join me in supporting the vision to rethink Rockland County's future for our children and our grandchildren. Every day in Rockland County, an entrepreneur launches an idea, a company delivers a new product, and businesses large and small take risks so our community can reap the benefits of new jobs. All too often, government is looked as an obstacle to bringing wealth to our local communities. I will tell you two things. The observation is all too often accurate, and is decidedly not the case here with Rockland government. I take my charter responsibility as Chief Economic Development Officer seriously, and will continue to ensure we have an economic vibrancy here in Rockland that will stem the demand of higher property taxes. Most people agree the main goal of economic development is improving the financial well-being of a community through job creation, job retention, tax base enhancements, and quality of life. That is a major goal, and it cannot be achieved quickly. But today I'm pleased to report that we are moving in the right direction. In December, Rockland County reported the lowest unemployment rate among all 7 counties in the lower Hudson Valley region at 3.8%. Working closely with strong partners like the Rockland Economic Development Corporation, the Rockland County Industrial Development Agency, and the Rockland Business Association, my administration's economic strategy is creating jobs and opportunities for residents across this great county. The fact that the unemployment is at the lowest December level since 2006 is a good sign our efforts are paying off. Last year, we chalked up significant successes on projects that will positively impact our entire county for decades to come. We now have a new owner for the former Pfizer campus. IRG, successful in revitalizing former military and industrial complexes, plans to redevelop the sprawling campus in Pearl River and Nanuet with an expectation of creating and restoring jobs through a mix of manufacturing, retail, research and development, and other commercial purposes. In Orangeburg, our high-tech data center cluster continues to grow dramatically. The nearly $1 billion commitment of the Bloomberg Data Center is joined by an almost matching investment by Greenhouse Data, which recently opened up its new center at 1 Ramland Road. These high-value and, most importantly, low-impact facilities are economic jewels with huge potential for growth, and they will serve as a stable economic presence for years to come. The latest figure from the International Data Corporation shows the service-provided data center capacity will increase nearly 750% between now and 2019. We must demonstrate how committed we are to bringing even more opportunity to business and government organizations looking to offer great new experiences while setting new standards for environmental responsibility in data center design and in operations. There must be a balance. Steve Perath, our Executive Director of the Rockland IDA, reports that 2015 was his busiest year ever. That's the result of hard work and commitment to economic development by my administration and our partners tasked with implementation. Other new IDA projects include the new $25 million Crystal Run healthcare facility in West Nyack, now under construction, Strites Motz's purchase and current renovation of a major facility in Orangeburg, Celtic Metals Sheet Metals purchase and planned expansion to the former Olympus site. That was a company that was going to leave Rockland. We retained them here. And an expansion of Par Pharmaceutical that included their moving all their New Jersey operations right here to Rockland County. Yes, and contrary to what some believe out there, we can and we will compete with New Jersey and any other municipality for any business. These and other projects will result in new jobs and new investment in our county. And 2016 is already starting off in a big way. The IDA is already busy reviewing multiple new significant projects. While other counties and regions respond to opportunity like a battleship turning, we react and respond and readjust in days and sometimes hours to close the deal. In business, that makes a huge difference. It's pretty simple, really. New revenue for local government means reduced burden for local taxpayers. Led by my Director of Economic Growth and Tourism, Lucy Resipowski, we are working as a team to attract new investment while continuing to support our local employers alongside our government partners at the village, town, school, and district levels. My role as county executive is to work hard each day to keep the state of our county government strong. However, keeping that state of our community strong is a job for us all. As a community, we can never lose sight of the fact that for someone who is unemployed or underemployed, 1 is the only statistic that matters. That's why we've joined with Rockland Community College and Rockland BOCES to launch the new Rockland County Career Center, a new initiative that offers job search and career development services. The Career Center is a collaborative endeavor that brings together employers and job seekers providing comprehensive one-stop approach to career exploration, jobs training, and employment searching. Working with RCC President Dr. Cliff Wood and BOCES District Superintendent Dr. Mary G. Marsico, we created a strategy by which we collectively combine our resources and give our residents a pathway to a livable wage career. By joining public and private forces in a productive strategy to identify and target new growth and new opportunities, we will continue to embrace bold ideas to expand that opportunity. And we recognize that our small companies are now fueling our local workforce. We are working collaboratively with our partners in the business community and our unionized trade organizations to ensure a broader success for all. We must never forget those local businesses usually are our neighbors, and those local businesses provide many of the volunteers who protect us. With this in mind, Rockland County recently joined forces with the U.S. Small Business Administration in a program to bring more SBA programs and services to new and existing small businesses throughout the county. The Strategic Alliance Memorandum marks the first time the SBA has entered into any such alliance with any county government in the state of New York. We should all be very, very proud of that. This collaboration will ease the accessibility of our small businesses to both federal and local free economic development programs, services, and trainings. We are excited to partner with the SBA to provide the resources that many of our small business owners seek, allowing them to thrive. We're also partnering up with the SBA to promote tourism in Rockland County. This sweeping effort to bring foreign guests to our community ties together with all the wonderful arts, cultural, and attraction amenities that we offer every day. Through this initiative, we look forward to sharing Rockland's eclectic shops, award-winning cuisine, historic inns, and vast open space with thousands of international guests. We are reversing the view of Rockland as being kind of upstate, somewhere north of the city, somewhere near New Jersey. We're changing that to Rockland being a primary hub, destination that visitors will branch out from while enjoying the best of what Rockland has to offer, and there is plenty Rockland has to offer. For example, last year, 1.8 million Chinese tourists visited America. They spent a whopping $21.1 billion. I made my way to Flushing, Queens recently and spoke directly to the Chinese people through their media outlets with a twofold goal. I want visitors to enjoy what we have here in Rockland, and frankly, I want a share of the money they spend for our local economy. If we can attract just a few thousand of these visitors to our restaurants, hotels, and attractions each year, our local economy will see a major boost. We welcome their investment, and we thank the SBA for helping us show that Rockland County is a destination. Increased success in creating this strong economic platform will mean decreased reliance on local property taxpayers. Transportation infrastructure is one of the most basic responsibilities of county government and critical to every facet of our economic and daily life. Whether it be getting to work, shopping, driving our children to school safely, moving goods and products to the market, a transportation infrastructure is at the center. Creating and maintaining our infrastructure is a vital component of Rockland County's economic well-being and essential to much-needed job creation and retention in our community. With this in mind, our Highway Superintendent, Skip Fazzetti, has led something of a 2-year road and bridge renaissance here in Rockland. On the heels of the completion of a $30 million plus project just outside here on New Hempstead Road, we also have Union Road in Spring Valley, Oak Tree Road in Orangetown, the Montebello Road in Ramapo. All have received extreme makeovers since the start of my administration. Skip and his team have 5 major projects queued up for 2016 and beyond, including the $12.4 million replacement of the Orangeburg Road Bridge in Orangetown, the federally funded replacement of the vehicle bridge on Sampsondale Avenue in West Haverstraw, both of which cross CSX tracks. Those projects represent some of the Highway Department's major initiatives since the start of my administration. However, they do not include the dozens of miles of roads that have been repaved, resurfaced, and redesigned during the past 2 years. Today, our county roads are smoother and safer than any time in recent memory. And as I have said many times, we have a responsibility to ourselves and future generations to maintain and improve the roads, bridges, and sewer systems that previous generations built for us. It is a responsibility we cannot ignore, nor can we postpone. And waiting will cost the taxpayers between 3, 4 to 5 times the amount of dealing with it early. This is the least we can do for future generations, our children and grandchildren who will call Rockland home. The bottom line is this: my administration will not delay investments in critical infrastructure. We owe that to the people. People often ask me, why can't you run government like a business? Heard that many times. In many ways, over the past 2 years, we have utilized many of the best practices from the private sector. We reduced costs, improved efficiencies, and we focused on core mission, providing the highest level of service at the lowest cost to taxpayers, our customers. But government does have a unique responsibility to take on the task that the private sector can't or won't do. Rockland County government is responsible for services to help the most at-risk neighbors achieve success and self-sufficiency. Unfortunately, the problem of fraud has become increasingly important as the number of local residents who receive some form of assistance from the county grows. Right now, nearly 1/3 of our entire population is receiving Medicaid, and that massive number tells me that a closer look is required, as frankly, the numbers just don't add up. To that end, our Department of Social Services has made it a priority to target fraud, waste, and abuse of our programs and services. In fact, Rockland County is now a leader statewide in that endeavor. Last year, the county saved more than $2.2 million in public assistance cost avoidance savings and overpayments identified last year. This is in addition to approximately $1.5 million saved in 2014. During the first 2 years of administration, our DSS investigators denied benefits on 209 occasions, saving several million dollars in taxpayer money and rerouting that money to people who needed it. To date, our front-end detection system has saved millions of taxpayer dollars, nearly $4 million worth in 2 years. The system identifies and targets problems at the application stage and keeps people who are not eligible for government assistance out of the system. I want to applaud the Department of Social Services for their hard work in cracking down on those trying to scam the system and pick your pocket. I'm going to ask all of you to hold that thought again. Is Commissioner Sherwood here? Would you please stand up? Please give Commissioner Sherwood a hand. I think I made it pretty clear. I will not tolerate people trying to take money out of the pockets of our taxpayers in Rockland County, period. Only by advocating together for critical changes to state welfare laws will we successfully take steps forward to battle and safeguard taxpayer resources and to ensure the integrity of essential programs. I would like you all to contact your state representatives and demand the changes that both my administration and this legislature has requested already. Our hardworking residents invest millions of dollars each year in public funds to assist their neighbors who need help. We are a good people and a good county. But these are people who meet the eligibility requirements to receive public assistance for the basic necessities of life. With aggressive DSS investigations at the source and aggressive prosecution by our District Attorney, Tom Zugerby, we are better protecting Rockland County taxpayers as well as the limited pool of resources available to help our neediest population. In the year ahead, I would like you to watch our DSS redouble its efforts to focus on a hand up, not a handout. You know, for a number of years, you heard from myself and my former colleagues about the crushing burden of Medicaid. Providing Medicaid is a mandate. It is the largest mandate in our budget. Medicaid recipients have increased consistently over the past 5 years, with an estimated 50% increase since 2011. That boggles the mind, and frankly, it's unsustainable. Nearly 100,000, or 1 in 3 Rockland County residents, are currently receiving Medicaid. Historically, Medicaid expenses were funded 50% by the federal government, 25% by the states, and 25% by local county governments, as you can see from the slides. Counties will still have a Medicaid bill to pay each year, and in Rockland County, the total will be the equivalent of nearly 60% of our total property tax levy. I talked about unsustainability, but there is a way out of this. because state mandates are 90% of our budget and 100% of our problem. The problem is counties have no control over the cost of the programs. We have read over and over again about issues that have been identified by our county administration, social services, and has been ignored by the state. Over $500,000 on Zeisner Lane, more recently, that was just ignored by the state. $500,000 plus. We are forced to pay the bill here in Rockland, and it is a well-known fact now that the only state in the union that is forces its counties to pay for Medicaid is New York State. My message to Albany is this: if you want true reform, let our county executives run these programs. Do not give us the rules, stick us with the bill, then run and hide. Take the shackles off and let me do the job. We need a change to a sense of entitlement that will eventually bankrupt us. To me, the solution is clear. Fix the mandates, and you fix the counties. And one unalterable fact: local property taxpayers will be able to keep more money in their family budget if they do so. As I have said time and time again, the health and safety of all residents in Rockland County is the highest priority of my administration. 9 months ago, we launched the Rockland Codes Initiative, RCI, a sweeping effort to combat unsafe and illegal housing in our communities. We're utilizing the broad powers of the Health Department's sanitary code to inspect dwellings and issue violations, which allow us to fight back against those who think it's no big deal to take advantage of those who have a little voice. We've made it easy to file a confidential complaint about any property in this county. We have also made the process more transparent and more costly to offenders. Is this countywide initiative working? Just look at the results. In 1 year, the number of housing complaints by Health Department increased by 28%. The number of housing inspections jumped 69% from 2014 to 2015. The fines assessed by the Department of Health increased 630% in just 1 year, from $54,000 in 2014 to nearly $400,000 in 2015. If you want to take advantage of people in my county, you're going to pay for it. And now that we're hitting violators with serious monetary fines, we're seeing greater compliance. Electrical outlets are being repaired, smoke detectors are being installed, jailboat rooms are being dismantled. Our well-orchestrated battle against exploitive absentee landlords and property owners is led by two strong employees, determined county employees, Commissioner of Health Dr. Patricia Rupert and RCI Coordinator Katherine Johnson Southern. I commend Dr. Rupert and Kate Johnson and the entire RCI inspectors for working overtime to stop the madness. Please stand up and be recognized. See, I hire smart people. That's how I do so well. Every day, we have skilled health department inspectors visit unsafe and overcrowded apartments throughout this county. They see things that most of us will never see, and you should thank God for that. I'm proud to say RCI has been both successful and sensitive, and to dispel one of the things I've heard, to date, not one resident has been evicted by an RCI complaint. We seek to gain compliance. We seek to improve the housing stock. That's what we seek to do. We understand that most of these tenants living in these conditions are the lower rung of the socioeconomic ladder. They are living in illegal housing provided by unscrupulous landlords who receive cash for rentals and take advantage of the disadvantaged. We cannot and we will not accept that. But with the success of RCI, we will turn slumlords into landlords. And tonight, I'm pleased to unveil the next phase of the RCI, the Rockland Codes Initiative. With the help of our county attorney, Tom Humbach, I'm announcing a countywide rental certification and registry initiative. The program requires that every property in the county which there is more than 3 renters must register with the health department in order to be allowed to offer those units for rent. We will get a handle on this, folks. We will. The applicant will have to verify that the premises comply with all laws and regulations that ensure the health and safety of occupants and first responders, as a condition of being permitted to rent the premises. Owners will have to provide backup documentation like a certificate of occupancy to show the property is fit for habitation. You'll learn more details about our new rental registry in the coming weeks. For the sake of our residents who are tenants and first responders, whether it be Clarkstown, Ramapo, Haverstraw, Stony Point, or Orangetown, the county is supporting their dignity and taking up the gauntlet against landlords who, frankly, just don't give a damn. We all know that firefighting is dangerous enough, and this is something that's a little personal for me as a former first responder. But it should not be made more dangerous when property owners, motivated by greed, illegally carve up apartments. My message to slumlords is this: I will do whatever is necessary to ensure that neither a child, a resident, or one of Rockland County's bravest dies in a converted attic or a hidden stairwell. And with the perfect segue, speaking of bravery, it's time to meet two gentlemen who exude bravery and dedication to duty. On June 17th last year, Highway Department heavy equipment operator Peter Power was transporting a roller on College Road near Viola Road in Ramapo when he came upon a car that had just flipped over. Pete stopped the truck and took immediate action. As he walked towards the vehicle, he heard a woman screaming, and he saw that the car was on fire. The elderly driver was trapped. She was unable to climb out of the burning wreck. Without hesitation or regard for his own safety or his life, Pete smashed out the windshield, reached into the vehicle, unfastened the woman's seatbelt, and pulled her to safety. For his troubles, he got a gash in his arm. But Pete could have called 911? No. Could have waited? No. He courageously responded to a dangerous situation and saved the life of a stranger in need of immediate help. And then he said nothing and went back to work. We had to find this out, by the way. We had to figure out what happened, because he said nothing. Well, in spite of his modesty, we found out about Pete's heroism, and I'm proud to honor Peter Power tonight with Rockland County's Distinguished Service Award. On behalf of all of us, we salute your selfless service, and are thankful you were present that day to help. Peter, please come up. I know Pete a long time. We're fellow New City residents. I'm a little annoyed that he just gave me the doctor bill for the gash, but. And we have someone else we'd like to recognize this evening. On late afternoon of October 27th, the U.S. Coast Guard received a distress call about an overturned boat in the Hudson River near Hook Mountain. The distress call mentioned people in the water. Mike Baker heard that call. Mike was the captain that day on the helm of the New York Waterway Haverstraw to Ossining Ferry. The ferry was docked in Ossining and awaiting passengers for the return trip to Haverstraw. And even though a few Rockland-bound passengers already were on board, Mike called his deckhand, Tom Linane, and said, "Let's go." About 5 minutes and a half a mile later, Mike located the upside-down vessel. A man sitting on the top of the capsized boat obviously was suffering from the effects of hypothermia. As he approached from the north, Mike repositioned his ferry to the south because the tide was outgoing, a maneuver that provided better control of the incident. With the help of a volunteer passenger, Tom deployed the ferry's rescue equipment known as Jason's Cradle off the bow. Once the gear was fully deployed, Mike slowly moved the big ferry to within a few feet of the capsized vessel, and following Tom's hand signals for a final few yards. Within seconds, Tom and the volunteer pulled the man aboard the ferry and checked for other victims. After the all clear, Mike turned the ferry around towards Ossining, pushed the throttles to full. From the helm, Mike kept in constant radio contact with the Coast Guard, who notified the Ossining Police and EMS to meet the ferry upon return. The response, rescue, and return to land all took place within a mere 20 minutes. EMS briefly treated the victim on board before transporting him to Phelps Memorial Hospital. Waiting passengers boarded, had something to tell the grandchildren, obviously, and Mike took off for Haverstraw all in a day's work. On this particular autumn day in the Hudson River, his expert seamanship, brave and quick action, likely prevented more tragedy. I am honored to award Mike Baker tonight with the Rockland County Distinguished Service Award, and I want to thank him for his skill, courage, and commitment to saving the lives of others. Thank you, Mike. Okay, now back to the boring part. Seriously, have you heard tonight, we've accomplished a great deal in a little over 2 years. In fact, we're just hitting our stride. We continue to work every day to restore faith and trust in good government for the people. People believe in their government when it works. With respect to goals of good government, my administration will be moving forward to ensure that taxpayer dollars are conserved and spent wisely. Under a program conceived by County Attorney Humbach, we have revamped the contracting process for our county's contract agencies, those who provide such a wonderful service to the people of Rockland County. These are the agencies employed by the county primarily to provide outreach and support to the residents of the county in need by reasons of health, homelessness, or poverty. We have put into place measures to enact, where required, competitive bidding and other cost control measures, as well as improving oversight of how county funding, your money, is spent by these agencies. With regard to nonprofit health and human service agencies, the administration has worked closely with those agencies and our legislators on a concept to provide multi-year contracting that will mandate procurement process that adds certainty to the funding and in agencies on a recurring basis. And I want to publicly thank those agencies who joined my administration to get this done. I also want to thank my Deputy County Executive, Guillermo Rosa, for taking the lead on this very important initiative. County Attorney Humbach and my Director of Public Policy and Intergovernmental Relations, Stephen Powers, have also introduced competition to the realm of federal housing and urban development grants to local towns, villages, and nonprofits. In simple terms, they devised a policy that rewards HUD grant recipients for saving money on a project. The policy change also rewards grant applicants or developing projects that create revenue. Imagine that. Your government expecting recipients to create revenue in exchange for your tax dollars. What a unique thought. It is the intention of this incentive to encourage smart spending of your taxpayer dollars. I want to thank Tom and Steve for thinking creatively and outside the box to help our administration spend your money wisely. Keeping with the theme of good government, tonight I'm asking the legislature to work collaboratively with the executive branch to update our procurement code, making it easy for vendors, especially our local firms, to compete legally and do business with our county. In 2012, the New York State Legislature authorized local governments to utilize the best value competitive bidding process, which allows non-price factors to be considered when awarding a purchase contract. Some of these factors include warranties, energy efficiency, contractors' local experience with Rockland County, and knowledge of the community served. Rockland County still has not acted on this opportunity for over 3 years. This evening, I ask once again for the legislature to pass the required local law to authorize best value competitive bidding. And I want to thank Legislator Michael Grant, our Budget and Finance Chair, for his renewed interest in this effort, and I look at him as a partner in this effort. National cooperative contracts to provide lower pricing based on nationwide scope of contract. That reduces the cost of government and saves all of us money. We can save taxpayers millions of dollars by maintaining a high level of service delivery to citizens and making county government more efficient and accountable to taxpayers. The Purchasing Division also recently implemented the most current software technology to manage the evaluation process for both the request for proposals and best value competitive bid. Rockland County is setting a new standard for performance with this procurement function. So as you can see, we're turning the corner in Rockland. We've lowered costs, we've cut red tape, we've updated our technology to improve customer service at every click. But we're not done yet. Over the past 2 years, we've worked to build a government that is responsive to the need of residents, businesses, and those who rely on the county for services. And tonight, I'm pleased to announce the launch of a refreshed rocklandgov.com. With much of our today's interactions between the county and citizens happening over the internet, we are pleased to unveil a newly redesigned, much more user-friendly website that continues our work and puts people first in government. The website, set to go live next week, prioritizes information that is on high demand by residents and visitors and makes it easy to find key services and programs. I'd like to thank all in our MIS department who worked on this. They worked very hard to get this project off the ground. And lastly, I'm officially unveiling the Rockland County new brand. In simple terms, this is the most ambitious branding effort ever undertaken by this government. We'll incorporate a new logo into every aspect of county operations: signs, letterheads, tourism promotion, vehicle emblems, business cards, and dozens of other uses. We have a county flag and county seal, and we respect and we always keep that. But until now, Rockland County has never had a unified brand. Like Rockland County itself, the new logo combines the familiar with the unexpected. It draws a clear influence from the county's triangular shape with the Hudson River to the east. The 5 green cubes serve as symbols for our 5 unique towns, all coming to focus on one charcoal-colored cube, which represents one united Rockland County. The redesign is a reflection of our ongoing efforts, and it is called marketing, something else you don't see in government too often. Successful marketing translates into revenue. Thanks to Scott Salato and the buying group for their vision and the hard work on this effort. Tonight I've talked about the critical partnerships we have in the economic development, in public health, and in programs advancing our commitment to protecting the taxpayers. As your county executive, I will continue to put our taxpayers first. I will continue to focus on jobs and opportunities for residents, young and old. And I will continue to invest in our quality of life. And when I talk with local residents, there is excitement about Rockland once again. And that is a wonderful thing. People are recognizing that we're turning the corner, that we're getting better, that we're going to get to where we have to go, that full renaissance of this wonderful county. Our eyes are wide open to the challenges that lie ahead, but we can't stop looking for opportunities. We must never, ever rest. I won't. I hope none of you will. Because as Frederick Douglass once noted, without a struggle, there can be no progress. Rockland County's people have a great spirit. They're innovative, compassionate, generous, informed, and engaged. They fight back when outsiders take to social media to disparage our communities and our people. They condemn efforts by some who seek to divide and pit neighbors against each other under the misinterpretation of a scripture. Our residents absolutely know what kind of community they want to live in. Tonight, I leave you with a call to action. We are one community with a strong foundation for this future, but that future is dependent upon our ability to work together to address the issues that affect all of Rockland County, whether the issue of providing stable county property taxes, stopping overdevelopment or downzoning, or enhancing our quality of life. We must take all these challenges side by side. The executive and legislative branches in Rockland County, and frankly other counties, have historically struggled with consensus, and oftentimes have settled for the status quo instead of progress. But we have an opportunity to change that dynamic now. Let us rededicate ourselves to a unified commitment to our citizens, because only together can we make the enrichment of a community our shared purpose. And only together can we prove to the generations to come that failure is not an option. And tonight, let us not leave here without holding a good thought and a silent prayer for those who actually provide for the security and liberty that allows us to gather in halls just like this all across this great nation, our brave men and women who serve in the armed forces of the United States of America. Let our actions be measured by their sacrifice. I want to thank you again for being here. God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you.